You know, I was thinking last year. Last year I used to harvest water, rainwater. Now, I could water my plants and my grass 1,000 times a day, and it just doesn't really seem to do a whole hell of a lot. But then you put your plants out on a rainy day, and within a couple of days, your plant starts to flourish. If that gives you guys any idea of how good, clean, and pure rainwater is for you, and back to the whole pre-flood man living 400 to 900 years. I believe it. I do. I believe back then people were more in tune with nature and kind of following nature's guidelines. Things just as simple as water. Like water, when you go up into the mountains, like you go up into the Smoky Mountains and you see the water trickling down. The cloud mist creates condensation, trickles down. Well, when you have mountain water, what happens is the sun hits it, photosynthesis does its job, creates algae. Algae is like nature's filter. It filters all the toxins and, I guess, non-condensables. And then the water itself, flowing over the rocks, exposing itself to the sun, also exposing itself to the UV rays of the sun, which purifies the water. Now, once it settles into a creek, still flowing over the creek rocks, is exposed to the UV rays of the sun, which purifies the water, but at that point you have a little bit higher risk of drinking deer piss or animal piss. Well, water is a highly conductive substance. So are crystals. Crystals actually not only absorb energy, but they retain energy. Okay, so if you were to put a crystal on a glass plate or a porcelain plate, and right next to it or not a crystal, if you were to put an ice cube on a glass plate or porcelain plate, and then right next to it set a crystal up and put an ice cube on the crystal, you'll see that the ice cube on the crystal melts 10 times faster because it's releasing that energy that it absorbed. So what I had done, just for the hell of it, it may or may not really serve a purpose, but I'm exposing my drinking water here, which is just regular bottled water. I drilled a hole in the cap. Now, just the little hole in the cap itself is exposing the water to the air, which is going to it's going to give it an electrical charge. It's going to ionize the water, which will make it a lot more alkaline and safer to drink. So, just for shits and giggles, I decided to drill a hole in the cap and stick a crystal in it. Now the sun's about to hit its high point over the house, and once it hits that crystal, the crystal's going to absorb the ultraviolet rays of the sun. And then the lower half of the crystal, hopefully, will charge the water. You've got one material that actually absorbs and retains energy, good and bad, and actually water does the same thing. It will retain good and bad energy. Now, outside, I decided to put it in this exact location because if water has memory, it can not only remember the words that I'm speaking right now, but leaving it out here for a little while, it's picking up the sounds of the wind hitting the leaves, the birds chirping, just a nice, calm, peaceful atmosphere. Not only that, but scientists have already determined that plants and trees are made up of pure energy and they share, like us mammals, dimethyltryptamine. Plants of all varieties, plants and trees, actually communicate with each other. So as I say that, I lower my tone because the plants will actually communicate with each other. Believe it or not, that tree can hear me, it can sense danger. That tree, it actually thinks like we do, it actually feels pain like we do. That tree is a living organism. So I am going to leave this water exposed to the sun, the ultraviolet rays of the sun. I'm going to let the air around it ionize and electrically charge my water, and just let the water retain the sounds of the birds, the I guess electromagnetic pulse from the trees and the plants communicating with each other. Now, whether it's going to make me Superman after I drink it, probably not, but I do know for a fact it is going to be a lot better for me going down. I hope you guys enjoyed.